Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to our witnesses being here today. Mr. Gretaman, as you know, New York City is in the process of finalizing details related to the Central Business District tolling program, a first of its kind, incredibly destructive congestion pricing scheme that unfairly hurts New Jerseyans. Under the plan, this program will impose significant tolling costs on daily commuters and charge between $24 and $36 per bus to companies that regularly bring visitors into the city. This will most surely include charter bus routes for school field trips into New York City. Each year, hundreds of school field trips from my district in New Jersey travel to the city to visit various museums and landmarks. How do you think this congestion pricing plan will impact the price of a school field trip, and how will it affect ABA members operating these routes?
Yes, thank you for the question, Mr. Kean. When you think about the origin of the congestion pricing, it is to reduce congestion in the central business district. And whether that congestion is reduced by a private motor coach, private bus, or a publicly funded city bus, a government contracted commuter bus, the bus is inherently reducing congestion, whether it's private or public. The fact that private buses are having to pay the tax and public buses are not doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, it's not necessarily about reducing congestion. It feels more like a tax. And it does affect the school kids that are going to New York City to sightsee and spend money. It does affect the seniors that are going to see a play and spend money at a restaurant. And at the end of the day, to me, to the ABA, it appears more like it is just another tax that is only being applied to private operators, whether you're riding in a privately owned bus or a government-owned bus.
Okay. Mr. Gretaman, I also understand that the MTA has announced plans to exempt personal vehicles of people who have disabilities from the congestion pricing scheme, as well as city-run paratransit vehicles, which is commendable. Given the role and capabilities of your members' buses, how could this impact people who have disabilities from areas like my district who might want to visit New York, but may not want or be able to drive?
Yeah, I believe that it'll positively affect these people. There's no reason why a private operator won't be able to transport someone with disabilities. Most of the private motor coaches are equipped with ADA lifts, which will accommodate that. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to why are certain exemptions out there for private versus government buses?
So the cost will go up?
The cost will go up. The cost will go up for the riders. The cost will go up for the bus companies. And again, it's just another tax that it's not necessarily about reducing congestion. It seems to be a tax.
And then on a different issue, you've referenced in your testimony the difficulties the intercity bus operators have in accessing train stations and other local transit centers to drop off or pick up passengers. Can you expand on how these problems affect ABA members and specifically their passengers?
Yeah, absolutely. So when a private operator is not allowed to use a publicly funded transit center for pickups and drop-offs, it creates a bottleneck in the national transportation system as far as making meaningful connections for passengers. A lot of times, people that are riding intercity buses may not have the means to connect to the intercity bus carrier without going through a transit, without riding the bus, without riding a city bus to get to the intercity bus. If the intercity bus station, in some scenarios, is in a non-desirable or it's in an industrial area where there's poor access, it makes riding intercity buses less attractive and less convenient And what it ends up doing is not allowing certain members of the traveling public to be able to get to the bus station, to get to where they need to go.
Thank you. I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Mr.